This is the Viaduct Tavern, which stands right next to the Central Criminal Courts, which is better known as the Old Bailey based on the road that it is on. And it dates back to 1875 and is the last example of a late Victorian gin palace left in the city of London. These establishments were created to be lavish drinking holes that catered to the high end of society, but even the poor people got their gin there too because it was affordable. Directly across the street from the Viaduct Tavern was where the notorious old Newgate prison once stood, and in the same area now sits like a small fountain, and it is believed to be where public executions of the jail's prisoners were once carried out. Due to its situation, the site could be spotted from every window within the Viaduct Tavern, making it a hot spot when looking for seats at the next execution.
Oh, yeah. I like when my restaurant has a nice view too.
Yeah, no. Another prison known as the Old Giltspurt Street Compter. I was about to say computer. Also once existed in the tavern's general vicinity. That particular jail was a debtor's prison, and it was demolished sometime in the 1850s. But many believe that the Viaduct Tavern may have been built over the top where the prison once stood, which would explain the presence of the underground prison cells.
Mm-hmm.
But the Viaduct Tavern isn't on my list just because of its super cool historical significance. It's also well known for having bouts of poltergeist activity. However, by this point in your night, after all of the bar hopping you've done to fit in all of these places, I'm sure any moving objects may seem like a paranormal encounter rather than you just being a little tipsy. But finally, I'm doing a story on pubs, and just now, this is the location where ghosts are said to steal your drink when you're not looking. I finally got there.
Negative. Drinks cost too much in the pubs for you to be taking them, okay?
Me too. I've always said that too. But I do like this thought. If you were once in jail and now suddenly there's just a drink right in your view, I mean, wouldn't you take that opportunity too?
Oh, yeah.
In the upstairs area of the building, a landlord's daughter claimed to experience a vivid interaction with an unseen force in the 1980s. While sitting in one of the bedrooms, she claimed to hear heavy footsteps coming up the stairs. The door to her room she was sitting in then suddenly swung open, and before she could comprehend what was happening, the newspaper within her hands was snatched away and thrown on the floor. Then the footsteps turned around and headed right back down the staircase.
Oh.
So he did not want her reading that smut news article, apparently.
That's such a weird interaction. What are you doing in here?
Right, this is my room. That's my paper.
That's the devil's paper.
Right, exactly. I wish someone would have told me what she was reading because it really pissed that ghost off.
Yeah, it had to be like a Playboy type old style. It's something to really piss them off.
I bet it was. I bet she changed the story to say it was a newspaper. I was reading a newspaper. You know, that's what I do up in my bedroom all alone. In 1996, a manager was tidying the cellar one Saturday morning, when the door suddenly slammed shut and the lights went out. He had to feel his way to the door, and he found that no matter how hard he, pushed to try and open the door, that it wouldn't open. Like, all of a sudden the door was locked. Then, while he's down there in this dark, damp room, and this situation where he can't open the door, he suddenly hears a whisper in his ears that say, "It's just you and me down here now."
Ooh.
Fortunately, his wife heard him screaming and came downstairs to help. She found that the doors, which would not open from the inside, were unlocked and easy to open from the outside. So she didn't know what was going on. In May 1999, two electricians working in one of the pub's upstairs room also attracted the attention from the spirits here. They had rolled the carpet up and were taking up the floorboards when one of them felt a hand tap him on the shoulder. Thinking it was his workmate, he turned around but found that he was on the other side of the room. Now he feels like he must have imagined this, so he went back to work, and then again, he felt the tap on his shoulder. This time he stood up and walked over to his friend like, "Hey man, what the hell are you doing?" But the man denied any involvement. As he was about to return to his work, both men watched as the heavy carpet that was rolled up and rusting by the window was lifted up into the air and dropped down onto the floor.
Wow.
Yeah. So they must have also been reading that same newspaper, I guess. Or maybe that newspaper was in that rolled up carpet. He just doesn't like certain things.